And on the mound making his World Series debut, 31-year-old left-hander Jimmy Key, who finished the regular season at 13-13, but he won each of his last 5 decisions. And a product of Clemson University. Nixon has his 2nd hit of the series. His first since the first inning of game 1. He slapped one into right, and the Braves have the lead man on. Dan Morrison, as Jim Cott mentioned. Good move. Out at first is Otis Nixon. Was in game 2. The single. Key, a relatively quick worker, and Blauser singles to center. Again, Tim, we see the approach that you spoke of at the top of the telecast, taking Jimmy Key to the opposite field or up the middle. Blauser at first and 1 out. We're in the top of the first inning in game 4 of the World Series. Blauser with a delayed steal, and the throw did not get him. Well, that was kind of strange. Blauser fooled by the move. You see, Borders didn't realize that Blauser was running. He hesitated before delivering to second. Pendleton hammers one to short. Lee the catch. Throw to second, not in time. And Alomar goes leaping over Blauser. So another ball well struck by the Braves. But Pendleton hit it right at the shortstop Lee, and they now the 3-1 to short. Lee throws him out. After half an inning, the Braves nothing, and the Blue Jays coming up. That is the lineup. The Blue Jays send up against 26-year-old lefty Tom Glavine, who was the winning pitcher for Atlanta in game 1. That was a great catch by White last night, and it nearly started a triple play, which would have been only the 2nd in World Series history. That's through the middle, and again, the approach to these left-handers. Up the middle or to the opposite field. White used it to come up with just his 2nd hit of the World Series.
The defense for the Atlanta Braves
does the best job of holding runners on of any staff in baseball. Glavine with the slide step. That's a double play ball if they hurry. And no chance, as White was on top of Lemke. 1 out. They erase the lead runner. And it's Alomar at first base. Take it 2-1 lead. He's not running. Carter pulls it slowly to third. Pendleton's only play at first. He intentionally threw it into the turf to speed it up. And Carter is out. Alomar to second with 2 down. Has appeared in 2 World Series. This one in the 1981 World Series while a member of the New York Yankees. He was 1 for 22. Alomar heads to third without a throw. During the regular season, Alomar stole third base 12 times. Only Marquise Grissom of Montreal.
It is not often with 2 outs that you steal third without a throw, but Terry Pendleton holding his position.
Winfield up the middle. Lemke from behind the bag throws him out. A nice play to end the inning. The Blue Jays threaten but do not score. After 1 at the Sky Dome, no score. The 1-2 to Justice. Another well hit ball. This one gloved by Olerud to Key for the out. Little fly ball in shallow right. Carter, after a long run, is there. 2 down. We're in the 2nd. The bases are empty. There is no score in game 4 of the World Series.
That you can't hit right-handers. And I think Brian Hunter could be getting that label.
Hunter's only 24 years old, and he strikes out on the rare high fastball from Jimmy Key. That's the first strikeout of the night for Key. After an inning and a half, there is no score. And this is the lineup that Gaston has gone with just about all year. And you stick with the winning combination. Olerud strikes out. His difficulties continue. He's 0 for 8 with 4 strikeouts. That's the first strikeout of the night for Glavine.
This looked like the circle change.
Chopped off the plate. That could make it a tough play. Blauser able to catch it in the air. That made it an easier play for the second out of the inning.
But if he gets in trouble with men on base, you can bet he'll be low and away, or at least try to the right-handers.
Low and away again. Gruber slapped it down to first. Hunter makes the play himself, and the Blue Jays go in order. After two, no score. First rooms that look down over the playing field. They have the lower priced rooms that look over the railroad tracks. It's really a decidedly different view.
I understand those rooms.
Pitches in the dirt. Berryhill strikes out again, and Borders a nice throw to get him. Borders had to be very careful not to hit Berryhill with the throw as Damon was running down the line. Strike three. Now another World Series moment from Game 4.
Folks, all 650 of them in Evergreen, North Carolina.
Watching this World Series odyssey. Otis pulled it down to third to Gruber, who guns him down. 1, 2, 3. Go the Braves again.
That was good.
Thank you.
I like that.
We'll return to Skydome after this word from your local station. I knew you would.
And 60 miles west of Wilmington, North Carolina.
About 650 people live in Evergreen, they tell us. That one's heading for Evergreen. Deep to left field, near the pole, and a home run. Pat Borders puts the Blue Jays on the board with a home run off Tom Glavine. Just fair down the left field line. It's 1-0 Toronto. In the World Series, he's now 5 for 10 in this series against Atlanta. He hit a home run in the playoffs as well. Manuel Lee out on the bounding ball to second.
Postseason play.
Now the 2-2 pitch. Slice down the right field line. Fair ball toward the corner. It took a strange bounce out of the right field corner. So strange I had trouble describing it. And Devon White has a double. Takes or took, take your pick. It doesn't matter.
He and White both have tremendous speed going back on balls, but you don't drop too many in front of either one of them.
And that's ball 4 outside. Alomar walks on 4 pitches. The first walk thrown by Glavine tonight.
But look how close Lemke is keeping Devon White.
He was standing right on the bag as the pitch was delivered. That's a double play. Carter lined it right to Blauser. He flipped to Lemke, who had nowhere to go to get to the bag, and that ends the inning. The Blue Jays are on the board on the home run by Borders after 3, 1-0 Toronto.
Otherwise, it's first and third and nobody out. The Braves could have had something going.
And Blauser strikes out. He not noted as a strikeout pitcher, but he has fanned 4 of the last 5 hitters.
You put the hitter on the defense, and he's apt to go after anything, as Blauser did then.
Terry Pendleton, the batter. That's to right field. Carter. 2 down. Lonnie Smith, the hitter. Key has retired 10 in a row. It will be 11 when this one comes down. Manuel Lee puts it away. The Braves go quickly in order against Jimmy Key in the 4th. Through 3.5. The Blue Jays won and the Braves nothing.
Yeah, you have to change before they do. That's that constant establishing and reestablishing the inside and outside parts of the plate.
Now this, Tim, could be a question for either you or Jim Cott. We've talked about Dan Morrison, the home plate umpire, an American League umpire. And as he ponders the question, Old Root stings one into right field. Winfield stops at second. First and second and nobody out in the fourth inning.
But they all have a distinctive strike zone, some small, some bigger.
Andy Maldonado lifts one to left center, not deep. Ron Gant takes charge for the first out of the inning. Winfield tagged but does not try to go to third. We're in the fourth. The Blue Jays lead 1-0. Maldonado now 0 for 2. Gruber broke an 0 for 23 drought last night with a home run, but perhaps his confidence isn't completely back. And he hits a double play ball. 6-4-3. The Braves turn it to get out of the inning. After 4 at the Sky Dome in Toronto, the Blue Jays won and the Braves nothing. And he's walked 4 times already through 3 games plus in the World Series. Big swing and a miss, 4 strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Jimmy Key. Key averaged only 4.9 strikeouts per 9 innings. Gant is overdue. 0 for his last 15, including his 0 for 1 tonight. The 3-2 pitch. Lifted to left center field. Room for Devon White. 2 away. With the Blue Jays lead 1-0. Brian Hunter at the plate with 2 down and the bases empty in the Atlanta 5th. Well hit toward the gap. White on the run, and he's there to make the catch. If it stays in the air long enough, he'll get it. Halfway through game 4, Jimmy Key working on the shutout. It's 1-0 Toronto.
Well, that one from Glavine was not a good pitch, but hitters do hit good pitches out of the park.
Borders out on the bounding ball to short. 1 out in the 5th. With his home run his first time up, Pat Borders has had a hit in each of his last 12.
15 states represented on this 50-man squad.
Pendleton throws Lee out.
The roster for the World Series, 25 of course for each team. 17 states represented, 3 foreign countries.
He's hoping when he takes the mound the series will be tied at 2 wins apiece. White to right. He doubled in that direction his last time up, but this time Justice is there, and Glavine works just his second 1-2-3 inning. We'll return to Sky Dome after this word from your local station. And we've seen some outstanding baseball in both cities as well. Jimmy Key handles the comebacker from Berryhill. 1 pitch and 1 out in the Atlanta 6th.
Gives you an idea of how quickly you have to
Lemke will be followed by Otis Nixon. Devon White. 2 away. Here's Jim Cott.
Well, Sean and Tim, I think what's been impressive about watching Jimmy Key, we talked before the game.
The American League East. Otis Nixon. The 1-0 pitch slapped to center. That drops in. And Nixon is 2 for 3 tonight. That's the first hit for Atlanta since Blauser singled after Nixon was picked off to the minor league pitching instructors in the Braves organization as an example of how they should teach their pitchers to work. Blauser down to third. Gruber the short way to force Nixon and end the inning. On to the bottom of the 6th in game 4 of the World Series. The Blue Jays lead 1-0.
Telling you, the reaction from the crowd was just about as classy as you can get.
I think that's a great way to describe this city and the people who live here.
Absolutely.
Otis Nixon under the fly ball from Roberto Alomar. 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. The Blue Jays batting against Tom Glavine with a 1-0 lead. The only run in this ball game away in Hamilton, Ontario. A regular season game against the Ottawa Senators, and only sold about 6,000 tickets. They ordinarily sell out every game. Joe Carter is aboard on a walk. Just the second, make that the third. Chop to third. Pendleton gets Carter. Lemke Couldn't get Winfield. Carter erased for the second out of the inning. And Winfield is aboard at first with 2 down.
If it's a fastball away, they'll play him more the other way. This is a changeup here.
And bounce through the middle. Winfield around second. He'll continue toward third and get there as Nixon throws to second. So John Olerud is 2 for 3 tonight. The game-winning run last night. Another 1-2 pitch on the corner. Strike 3. Well, that was one of the few times tonight a borderline pitch went the pitcher's way. Ooh.
Right.
As long as you're consistent, but that time Maldonado called out on a pitch that was not a strike. Pendleton to left field, and Maldonado has room. Todd Stottlemyre has started throwing in the Toronto bullpen. Blown away. You don't say that often about Jimmy Key, but he got the fastball by Lonnie Smith. There's Deion Sanders, who's not in the lineup tonight for Atlanta. Justice again sends it in the direction of Devon White. This one a much more routine play. Jimmy Key works another 1-2-3 inning. It's stretch time, but they're coming to their feet anyway for Jimmy Key. Gaston. The payoff pitch to the leadoff batter is ball 4. The 4th walk thrown by Glavine. Tommy has only struck out 1 tonight, and that was rather 2 tonight, and one of those was on the borderline pitch last inning. Hales, Florida at the plate with Kelly Gruber at first base and nobody out. Nixon was playing in left center. He has to drift to right center to make the catch. 1 out, and Gruber is back to first. Gruber on the move. Lee taps it back to the mound. Glavine has to go to first. Gruber went sliding into second base. Well, now his uniform matches his helmet.
But Manuel Lee, on making the out, does push Gruber to second base.
So the Blue Jays have still another great chance to score as Glavine delivers to Devon White. Base hit left field. Gruber's being waved in. Gant with the throw to the plate. It is cut off. Throw to second. They have White in a rundown. The Blue Jays lead 2-0, and White is tagged out to end the inning. Gruber scores a big run. Looked like that was bothering him during the break between innings. The trainer did come out onto the field. Breaking ball hammered past Gruber into the left field corner. It was not touched by any fans down there, and Ron Gant breaks an 0 for 16 with a leadoff double. The first extra base hit of the night for Atlanta, and just the 3rd for the Braves in the World Series. Our report from the field is that Kelly Gruber just had the wind knocked out of him, nothing more than that. He's close to the line now with Hunter at the plate. Hunter drops down a good bunt. Everybody is safe. Gruber was along the line and very deep at third. And Hunter bunted the ball past Jimmy Key so that he had no chance at it. Borders looking into the dugout for help. We're in the 8th inning. Toronto leads 2-0. Berryhill pops up a bunt. Borders fields it in foul ground for the first out. Well, with Berryhill struggling, they were trying to get that tying run into scoring position.
It's hard to tell whether Berryhill was bunting for a base hit or bunting just to push Hunter to second base.
Lemke lances it off Key. Charged by Gruber. He throws to first in time to get Lemke. Gant scores from third with the first Atlanta run of the night. It's 2-1, and the tying run is in scoring position now with 2 outs as Brian Hunter moved up to second base.
And what a play by Kelly Gruber. Bobby Cox, now the manager of the Braves. Dwayne Ward in there. He has won the 2 games that the Blue Jays have won.
2-1 Toronto. Top of the 8th inning. That is strike 3, and it gets away from Borders. It's up onto the screen. So Nixon is safe at first on the strikeout, and Brian Hunter is moved to third. A tremendous break for the Atlanta Braves. And Sid Bream, another possibility, hitting .375 in the series.
Yep.
They do have the left-hander Wells throwing in the bullpen. That's down the line. Olerud to Anita play it and end the inning. The Braves leave 2 men in scoring position. Deion Sanders still on the bench. Bream bypassed as well. They would have been the most logical pinch hitting candidates. Alomar threw the bat at the ball. He lifts a lazy fly to right. 1 out in the 8th inning. At the conclusion of tonight's game, Tim and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. Wayne Ward got them out of the problem in the 8th. Carter lines one to short. Blauser caught it. The Braves do have the heart of their order coming up in the top of the 9th. Batters 3, 4, and 5. To short again. Blauser throws him out. Glavine works a 1-2-3-8. We go to the 9th. Pendleton, Smith, and Justice coming up for Atlanta. The Blue Jays lead 2-1.
Tom Hinkie with 1 save in this series. In postseason play, he's 2-0 with 3 saves.
The 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. The 1-2 pitch. Bounce back to the mound. Hinkie stumbled a bit, but threw him out. Two down in the 9th.
Joe Carter in right field near the track.
Justice with a high fly ball, not very deep. Maldonado is there. The Blue Jays win, and they lead the World Series 3 games to